Hey everybody, it's Aaron from Weekends with the Camper, and like my previous 4 videos, we bought solar. Now I don't know if it's a mistake or not, but we're going to try it out. So I've been busy, so has my wife. We've been working in a spot in the basement to put the controllers, put batteries, all that near our breaker box, and I'll show you what we got going on so far. So there's my breaker panel. That's where I have all my power coming in and a few other things. And there's my transfer switch for my genset and the water heater, and this is where we've been working. And it's actually night and day difference. We had all sorts of totes stacked up there and stuff like that for storage. But that's where we're going to put my power bank, my battery bank, and the charge controller, the inverters, and all that for now. And what I got going on is I got a 4x4 piece of plywood that I've reclaimed from it was I believe a lid to a box, a pallet box that they were getting rid of. And then I got some 2x4s. I'm just going to basically make a big L out of both them. Put the batteries on the lower portion on these guys, and put everything else up high on these. Overall, the structure is going to be roughly about 6 foot, plus or minus 6 inches or so. So that's what we're going to do, and I will be back after that is completed. So as you can see, just a really big L. Runs a little over 6 foot. And instead of just overlapping them, I actually layered them with a piece of OBS, 1/2 inch OBS on each side, which should strengthen it up quite a bit. And I will finish the second one and I'll show you that one. So now I have it up. I got the battery board where I'm storing the batteries underneath it, and they're all screwed down. And I weigh about 220 pounds. It should be pretty stout enough to hold the batteries. So here is my charge controller. It's the Outback flexmax 60, I believe. And I thought it was a lot deeper than it is, but it's not real bad. Weighs about 16 pounds, I want to say. And I'm going to have to figure out how to get it up there. So, since I'm doing this one-handed, and I can't do that one-handed, I am going to shut the camera off again. But I'm thinking it's going to go somewhere up in that corner. And I'll get it mounted and see how it looks. So I got my Outback Power flexmax charge controller up now. And you're probably wondering what this little guy is, but I do have 300-watt solar panels that I purchased 6 years ago. I've never really added to it, never had the time to, or stuck the money into it. So I do have that small charge controller for those 300 watters, and I got the big one for the 330 watters that I have out in the garage, which I have a feeling I'm going to have probably 2 or 3 more of them. And when I start getting into that, I think I'm going to have to upgrade my battery bank from a 12 volt to a 24. And the 100 watters that I was just running this little gridtie inverter. Doesn't put much out, 100 watts if I'm lucky, most cases, at 12 volt. If I'm closer to 24 or 30, it'll probably put out the full 250, but most of the time throughout the year I've maybe saved, I don't know, 10 bucks over the year. 10, 15 maybe. Just because it doesn't put out enough power and I haven't added to it. So there's where I am now. I have that grid tie to mount up there. I do have a 450 watt modified sine wave that I'm thinking about using just for my basement lights. As you can see, my basement is full of stuff from rearranging, wires coming down for different items that I have yet to buy the tools to be able to shorten them, and just plain general storage. So this is all work in progress, including the breaker box. Wasn't that long ago, it drove me nuts because I was working in there that I actually pulled out all these little itty bitty bits. I probably pulled out 30 feet of extra wire out of my breaker box I didn't need. And just this weekend I redid all my cabling so that way it's not hanging down. Actually had a place to mount it and stuff like that. So it's all a work in progress. It's an old house, it's not new, so everything's got to get upgraded over time. But I will have that on yet today, possibly, if I have screws small enough to get in those holes. And I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to put my new inverter, my solar transfer switch, a couple breakers, a couple fuses. I think this will get tied on to the Outback's control, or this guy's control. That way when the batteries get charged, I think I might go with this one, just to, when the batteries get charged, it'll turn on. I got a 250 amp solenoid relay out in the garage that runs off 12 volt, and I might just put that on that, so that way this doesn't drain my batteries all night 24/7. So it only runs when the batteries are fully charged. More than likely I will be looking at getting a couple grid tie in the future, especially if I go to a 48 volt system where I can utilize all panels off fewer charge controllers. But that's where we're at. If you like where we're going with this project, please like, subscribe, and follow, and please leave your comments. I'd really like to hear what you have to say. And I will probably add a little clip beyond this part, and we'll see you later. Just a couple more things. I do have the batteries for my solar charger, and yes, it is snowing out. It's what's it say, the 22nd, 23rd, something like that. But I do have my batteries for my solar project, and they are right there. They're 2-year-old Trojan 6-volt batteries, and they are, you can see it, fully charged. So they should all be at 36 or at 6 volts. This is charged at 36, so those batteries are pretty much ready to go. So that will be getting added to the shelf. Where is it? I don't know, I had the small inverter earlier today, and now I can't find it. So here's my 410 watt. It's probably about 7-8 years old. I've only used it like once or twice, so it'll definitely work for a few lights in the basement every now and then. I think there's 5 lights down there, and at 60 watts it should be, what's that, 5 times 6, 300. So I should be underneath there and it should be able to power them no problem. If I start having issues, I may switch them to the LEDs and go that route and cut the amperage down, which I should do in the whole house anyway. But this is where I'm at on my project, and I will hopefully have this summer mounted up on that board.